Welcome back to Retro Rebound. In today's video, I'm getting back into my 3DS gaming groove because I've been buying some games here in 2022. Why, you may be wondering, why am I breaking out this bad boy here when the Nintendo Switch is getting so many great games? Well, I'll tell you why. We have a video here on Retro Rebound called Straight Up, Nintendo Doesn't Care About You. And in that video, we document what's going on with the Nintendo 3DS and Wii U eShops, where they are effectively shutting them down. A lot of games won't be available, and their substitute for that is not bringing those games forward, whether they be ports or, I don't know, maybe in the virtual console. They've decided to put them in their subscription service, which is not owning the game at all, and saying, that's our solution and you should subscribe, which I will not. So today, we're going through some of those 3DS games and why I'm picking them up. So if you're new here and you like old video games, game hauls, game preservation even, you're in the right place. Consider subscribing. Now, let's get into a meaty haul that, hey, funny enough, I've actually been collecting 3DS games since about August last year is when I really started doing that. And one of them that I recently picked up here is Tales of the Abyss. I actually don't know anything about this game. I got this for $50-ish at, it's called Video Games NYC. It comes complete in box with the instruction booklet, the Nintendo Club pamphlet. Remember when they used to do the stupid Nintendo Club stuff? But I got this for $50 at a place called Video Games NYC among another 3DS game I'll show you all shortly. This store is great. It's been around in New York City for about 20 years now. And they sell games like brand new sealed Vita games. I went crazy with that. They sell anything you can imagine there. So it was a great spot to go. It was my first time there, and I did pick up some 3DS games. So this was the first one I got. The reason for it was actually because Luke, the main character here on the front, I used to play this mobile game, like the only mobile game I can actually remember playing. I used to play Tales of Krystoria, which had a legitimately good story. It's shut down now, but it had a legitimately good ongoing story. And they used to meld all these characters from the Tales of universe. And one of them was Luke, who I actually thought was pretty interesting. At least I think his name is Luke. What does it say on the back here? Yeah, Luke von Faber, or whatever his last name is. Anyway, that was one game I got. As you can tell, I'm a JRPG fan. I also got SMT4 Apocalypse. So I bought this one ahead of SMT5, which I adored, by the way. It was one of my top 3 games of the year last year. But this one, you may notice if you look from the top, it's a little bit of a chonker here. Well, the reason for that is this one came with, the SMT4 Apocalypse pins. I was pretty stoked to get this. You know me, like back when these games come out, you're like, oh, pins, stupid, who cares? But when you're shopping on eBay and you're looking for that next game to add to your collection, you're like, oh, pins, ooh, marketing pamphlets, nice. I'll never touch these. It's like these I'll never pin on my wall. I'm like, I'm gonna keep them right here inside this, on this little cardboard pamphlet, and that's it. But yeah, I played this game, beat it last year. I shouldn't make a video on it now that I think about it, because SMT is a game a lot of y'all talk about. Let me just say that SMT fans, you're masochists. Someone who's now played 4 Apocalypse has also played SMT5. These games are very difficult, but I got this for $90. Definitely a premium price. I got it off of Mercari, and I imagine it'll only go up because that just happens with Atlas games on handheld platforms. They go up astronomically. This one I'm really excited about. This one I added a while ago. Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. This one's great. Comes with the demo slip. Check that out for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I forgot about that. This I got for really cheap, though. This was about, I want to say $30 was what I paid. Oh, no, $20, because now people are paying $30 plus for it. Pokemon games are going to go up because Pokemon anything always goes up in value. This is my favorite Mystery Dungeon game. The story here is dark. It's actually really dark. If you have not played a Mystery Dungeon game, this is the best starting point, in my opinion. I know a lot of people like Explorers of Sky. I haven't played much of that one. I do own it. But I got to say that this game's story blew me away. Because the first 10 hours, you're like, all right, if you're a Mystery Dungeon fan, you're like, yeah, this is kind of what I'd expect. Then suddenly the switch flips and you go, oh, we're going there. And that makes sense because the people who developed this story, Spike Chunsoft, are responsible for Danganronpa. And Danganronpa is one of my favorite current series. So that doesn't surprise me that things got a little bit dark, even in Pokemon. But if you haven't played it, check it out. This is, out of any older Pokemon game, currently at a pretty good price tag, but I do foresee it, especially now with the 3DS store, going up. That's a big reason why I got some of these games, because, you know, with the 3DS store closing down, no matter what, they're going to go up in price, right? Eventually, even if they do what PlayStation did, where they're like, oh, we're going to keep the Vita store around, the PS3 store around, and you saw things stabilize, that will eventually go away. And so you should get ahead of the curve if you can. Next up is Kid Icarus Uprising. Never played this game. This was one I literally added strictly because I was just like, this will likely go up because it's one of those Metroid-like exclusives, if you get what I'm catching with Nintendo. Like, it's a property they own, but it's not super popular. I got that for $35, though I don't have much to say on it, unfortunately. So let's keep moving along here. We have Fire Emblem Awakening. This is my favorite Fire Emblem game. I adore this one, man, because this was my entry to the series, as you can see here. 35 buckaroonies is what I paid for it. But this was when I got into the franchise. I loved Chrome's story. It was a good way to experience what made Fire Emblem without the scares of like, oh my God, this person I spent so much time with is dead permanently and I don't know how to play the game. It allowed me to try the game on, I believe it was called Adventure Mode. After you played on Adventure Mode, then you can go to the standard mode, if you will, for Fire Emblem, which is everyone can die permanently. And especially with where we've seen Fire Emblem Three Houses go, where they try to kind of be like Persona, except you're the professor instead of the student. Cool ideas. But for me, what makes Fire Emblem click, as I went to other Fire Emblem games, like I talked about how much I love Birthright. For me, what makes them click is the family creation. I don't know how else to say it, but like making families in Fire Emblem kicks butt. Like being able to ship these two characters, and they have a son, and this son is like a hybrid class of the two people who got married. And I don't know, that stuff's awesome to me, because then you get some really cool combinations and storytelling there, not only in the game itself, because they'll have interactions, but just stories you can tell people who are also playing the game, like, hey, this is what happened to me, what happened to you while you were playing Fire Emblem. So Awakening was my entry to the series. As you saw, $35, not too bad. You'll also see here that I've got 2 Legend of Zelda games. And yeah, I had to get these in the collection because, again, the gut feeling is these will go up in price. We don't know outside of the Nintendo subscription service if they plan on doing anything with these games, and the way that they handled, say, Mario 3D All-Stars doesn't have me trusting Nintendo that if they do bring these games back in any way, shape, or form, that they're going to stay on store shelves even. Like, Nintendo's eradicated all trust that I can personally give them. This copy in particular of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D bugs me, because when I pulled it off the shelf at GameStop for like $15, I looked at it, I went, oh, this is a great copy, actually. Awesome. So I handed it to the guy, because as you can see here, manual and everything, I went, well, I can get it here for below market value. I'm going to do that, because sometimes when you go to your local GameStops, they'll have the stuff that you're looking for. It's just pretty rare. But for me, when I saw them give it back to me, and this little sticker, this former sticker rather, was on the case, I was mighty flustered, because then my social anxiety kicked in. I'm like, I'm not gonna go back in because of a case. I don't have that little humility. I gotta just go home, right? Maybe I didn't, but anyway, I couldn't do it, and now I gotta figure out a way to Googon this stupid sticker off. But otherwise, for $15, pretty good price to pay for a classic Nintendo 64 game that comes with the manual, that comes with literally everything a complete in-box copy would get. And I love the way it unfolds here. As you can see, it's like a quad fold. So that was a good copy to get. And then as you just saw, oh, wait, I'm folding this incorrectly here. Hold on. I'm going to have to revoke my gamer card at this point. All right, so next, as you saw, I had also Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask is one that I have never played before. Don't worry, it is on the list of so I played for the first time, because I know with Breath of the Wild 2 rolling around, which I am excited for, that it seems to be taking cues apparently from Majora's Mask, but also the night and day cycle and whatnot, the timer you're on reminds me of, God, oh man, I talked about revoking my gamer card. This might be it, but it reminds me of Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns. I know, okay, I know who did it first, but not a lot of games put you on a timer. There's this cool indie game called Unsighted that was out on Xbox Game Pass as well as PC, and that was a game that put you on a timer. You could turn it off if you wanted to, but I feel like it creates urgency and it really intensifies the whole experience. So I was pretty excited to get this game in my collection now for also $20. Next we have some Pokemon games. you know me, like I may not be a fan of Pokemon, but if I'm going to buy some offhand ones, they're going to be my favorites. So Sun and Moon, if you didn't watch my Pokemon Legends Arceus review, you know that that was the last Pokemon game that I well and truly enjoyed. And so I've actually never played Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So when I saw Ultra Sun for $30, complete in box as per usual, I thought to myself, well, we got to get this one. For those who don't know, the reason I like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, or rather Sun and Moon, I should say, is because these games actually switch up the formula. Something I was very complimentary of the latest entry in Pokemon, where I went, wow, they changed it up. This is so much better and so much more refreshing. Yeah, so Ultra Sun I'm excited about because, you know, with Team Skull, the mature themes they tackle, and then the island trials, it felt different. It was built different, as the kids would say. So, honestly, big fan of Ultra Sun. I could actually see myself going back to that. And then I also got, for, as we can see here, $30, I got Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. I love Emerald. That was my favorite game growing up. Like, that was my Pokemon game, you know, top tier. That was really where I was blown away by, oh my God, they kind of they gave birth to Pokemon again, is how I viewed it. Like, they had red, blue, yellow, and I played those for years and years and years. Then my friend got a Game Boy Advance, and he shows me, I think it was Emerald, actually. And Emerald had this amazing battle track that I don't think slaps nearly as hard. But it's so funny because, you know, I listen to it now. I'm like, this is really not that hype. But it got me hyped as a kid, so I actually bought the game based off the track alone. All right, next game we got here is a super unknown one. 7th Dragon 3 Code VFD. And this one, a funky looking box, as you can see here. It comes with the launch edition art book. You open the top here. And what's interesting is this seal is broken. We got a cool art book. I love the character concepts for this. They just, look at that. So awesome. So this game was about $60 when I got it on eBay, which is a really good deal for it. I got a complete steal on it, but just, again, appreciating this art book. The world looks cool. Very kind of somewhat futuristic. And then if you go to the bottom here, because I don't want to reach through the rest of the cardboard because you can already see it's kind of a little bit messed up. We have the copy sealed, brand new. And I'm definitely going to crack the seal on this. I don't know quite when, but I do want to play this because it just looks so awesome. It looks like an Atlas game, which it is not. It's from Sega, published by them at least. But that was the last game I bought recently. This was my big purchase for my 3DS. You know, it's very rare that I kind of stick my neck out on these unknown JRPGs. Like I kind of did it with SMT4 Apocalypse and did regret it because SMT4 Apocalypse was a game that I liked, but even for its timing of release, I thought was just very much a JRPG, the JRPG. And I didn't understand why people liked SMT so much, but with 5, I kind of get it now. It's sort of like this hardcore Pokemon game, if you will, even though SMT came first. So it technically Pokemon copied SMT, but I'm getting off track here. I don't get too risky with my 3DS picks, but this one I was willing to. It looked awesome, looked very different, and that's effectively everything I got from my haul. So if we bring all of them here together, you'll see bada bing, bada boom, there they all are. Tales of the Abyss, we got SMT4 Apocalypse, Super Mystery Dungeon, Kid Icarus Uprising, Fire Emblem Awakening, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, Pokemon Ultra Sun, Pokemon Alpha Sapphire, and 7th Dragon 3 Code VFD. So a lot of these games you probably already heard of, quite honestly, but some of them you may not have. Like I guarantee most of you haven't heard of 7th Dragon. That's a pretty unknown one, but I think a lot of them you forget about. Like, oh, Mystery Dungeon, that's a whatever game, right? But there are a lot of cool games out on the 3DS. I'm going to continue building my collection now that I know that the digital side of things is going to go away, so that retro price is going to go up. And I always encourage the audience to get ahead of the curve, to be ahead of what Nintendo and all these companies are eventually going to do, and stack up on your back compat library now, not later when eBay and Mercari are going to scalp the life out of you. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's why I'm buying games in 2022 for my Nintendo 3DS. Let me know what you think of these pickups in the comments down below. Are you buying any games yourself for your Nintendo 3DS? Fire away. Other than that, I'll catch all of you in the next Retro Rebound. Peace out.